Hey, what's up, guys? Justin Brock here, and I'm sitting here with Dalton Miller with RetireFlow. And RetireFlow is a product, a software, a tool that was born when Dalton came to Medicare Con a couple years
That's
back.
right.
And that has been probably one of the biggest benefits of that Medicare Con because this tool is serving a need for a lot of independent agents, strong independent agents, small to mid-sized agencies. And we're coming up on the annual enrollment period of all annual enrollment periods where systems and processes to buy back your time are the most important. And that's what RetireFlow is and will do. And that's why I want Dalton to, in a nutshell,
Yeah.
introduce yourself and tell us what RetireFlow aims to solve.
Yeah. And thank you, Justin. Thanks for having me on. You're 100% right. I call it the Part D tsunami that's coming. It's kind of coming behind us here. It's the Part D storm.
Part D tropical storm.
Yeah.
Turn into a Category 5.
Right. But as everybody knows, with changes coming from the Inflation Reduction Act, shopping amongst seniors is going to be up staggering rates. Everybody's going to call the moment their annual notice of change hits their mailbox. And so if people are going to want to shop, what do you need to know about them? And it's the things that RetireFlow collects. So what RetireFlow is at its core is it's an online survey that you can send to your clients and prospects in advance of a meeting. Ask them somewhere between 9 and 13 questions. We got a couple different surveys to fit everybody's needs. But when your senior clients answer that survey, you get 3 things. 1, you get a list of that client's prescriptions, doctors, hospitals, pharmacies, and plan preferences. On those prescriptions, they're spelled correctly every time. Dosage, quantity, frequency, package, brand of the generic, everything you need to know to go out and run those quotes. The second thing you get, because our survey has been approved by CMS, is in the federal government's eyes, you now have achieved permission to contact with that client. And then lastly, our final question is that scope of appointment form.
Right.
So, and there's a lot of services out there that do scopes, and that's fine. But the reason we do it is because if you're meeting with somebody next Thursday, you got an appointment on the books, you say, hey, look, I call everybody Susie Senior. You need to complete this survey by next Thursday or by next Tuesday. So that way, not only are you going to get a compliant scope, but you're going to get those drugs, doctors, hospitals, pharmacies at least 2 days in advance. Do all that plan research, show up locked and loaded, quotes in hand. And for what you said, it's 100% true. We've got a very limited window. I think it's 54 days during the annual enrollment period to go out and serve all these folks, shop all these plans, and time is incredibly valuable. And you can use RetireFlow to get out ahead of it.
Right. Yeah. Being able to collect all that data on the front end. It also gives me the ability in my agency to take a pod of maybe my service-focused agents, and they're not necessarily my top salespeople, but they're great at picking the right plan and being service-oriented.
Yeah.
But salespeople are good at being aggressive and pounding the phones to find the prospects. They're not doing that, and so if I can make their path extremely efficient, then I can get all those rewrites done and maximize as much as possible. But then using it on new business as well, to me, it seems like it's going to streamline the process as much as possible, especially with your higher intent lead flow that's coming through. A lot of times you can build it straight into your surveys on the lead itself. So
we've seen it. We've seen agents do the agents across America are using our system to every meeting they take. You got to know these things: new business, existing business, and part of the beauty of RetireFlow is we know who our audience is. In many cases, it's seniors. And so our flow, our surveys, do not require a username or a password. So you simply send it to the client, they click on it, they complete it. It's pretty, it's white labeled with your logo, your headshot. It looks and feels like you, so you know they can trust you. They answer the questions, they're done. That's it. No signing into a profile, none of that goofy stuff. We want to remove any sort of friction between you and growing and retaining your business.
Yeah. And you guys, I saw that you're integrated with Connecture.
Yeah.
I think you're working on Sunfire right now. I know I've talked to Sunfire. They said that they're talking to you guys.
Yeah. Well, I would tell you the things that we're working on a product for everybody. And I've seen you talk about this in the Medicare Monsters Facebook group and things like that. But at some point in time, as an agent, you got to get your game plan for AEP. It's a little bit different for everybody, but I can't stress enough, don't get caught up in, well, I want my Salesforce to work with my agency block to my Go Guru to my Sunfire to my Connecture and all that, and where's MetaZoos and all these things. And so get your game. We've got a survey for everybody. And in fact, we're very, very excited. And that's kind of why I think we're doing this, is to talk about our survey that's going to be built inside of Go Guru. It'll automatically sync all the data that we go out and collect. It's drugs, doctors, hospitals, pharmacies, contact info, and a scope right into Go Guru.
Yeah, I think that's an important concept, though, talking about like integrated technology.
Yeah.
We've built a pretty strong, organization, both on the direct-to-consumer side, the direct-to-agent side. And we don't even have fully integrated technology.
Right.
And most of the building years, we didn't even have as integrated as we are now.
We're always getting better.
People think that you have to have these things to accomplish what we've accomplished, and we don't even have those things. The same thing with people ask us about marketing money and co-op and all this stuff. We didn't even get that until 3 years ago.
Yeah.
We were basically writing Medicare Advantage at street level 4 years ago.
Well,
and people think like, I got to have that or I can't be successful. Well, really, the street comp and the paper apps can get you successful, but we want to add processes to make things better.
Right.
Don't think if I don't have everything, there's this common quote that says comparison is the thief of joy. I think that's crap. I think the thief of joy is high expectations.
Yeah.
If I'm always wanting to improve and do better, but if I expect that everything is just going to be perfect,
right,
and I can't succeed without perfection, that's horseshit. We always have to adapt. Mike Tyson says, I think it's a Mike Tyson quote. He's commonly referenced as quoting it. Everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face.
Yeah.
And what
I don't know
we want to do is use the tools that are working for what they're good for. If that information isn't zapping right here and then zapping from there to there and everything is always connected, that doesn't necessarily matter. The tools that we had last year were infinitely better than what I started with. The tools that we're going to have with RetireFlow and the Go Guru integration and some of the e-tool integrations this AEP are better than it's ever been before.
Oh my goodness.
And it's still not where we need it to be, but it's better than it's ever been before.
Well, and first of all, you got a rock star team. Steven and Drew and Jacob, all these guys, Will, are all working on these things all the time. But like you said, don't let perfect be the enemy of great. Yeah. Okay. If you've got your systems in order and it works, I think what everybody needs to be focused on right now is, where is my next senior client coming from? Where is my next person that I'm going to be meeting with coming from? Organizing referral sources. But, RetireFlow is an incredible tool to go out there and get squared away for every meeting. But at the same time, let's focus on writing business. Let's focus on who is sending me referrals. Where are my financial planner relationships? Letting people know in your community that your stuff, that you're the person when they see their annual notice of change this fall and they're mad that their PDP premium went up 5,000%, that you're the person in that community that they need to talk to help with that,
So like we were talking about,
yeah,
integrations, I kind of made this pivot to integrations or the thief of joy, but the thing is, you guys are going above and beyond to create integrations, but the product standalone is extremely useful. And as there are some people that try to say, why would you need that? It's a survey. We've built a lot of surveys, high level. The cleanliness of the prescription portion, is something that we haven't, set out to build or been able to build. You guys have gone through and made that happen. At this point, for the price that you're actually asking for, it doesn't make any sense to go and build it.
Promo code Monsters40, all caps. You get it at 40% off. It's
exactly.
$29.99 a month.
Right.
And for $30 a month, you can totally streamline your business.
And it's CMS certified,
approved. Yeah.
Which, like I've heard before, some people have used scopes of appointment that aren't CMS certified and gotten sued for it.
Yes.
Had to deal with legal repercussions. Yours has already been vetted. So this idea of I can prop up a survey, it's not this. Yes, you can. Not the same as what we're talking about with RetireFlow.
Well, you just put yourself at risk. And part of the wonderful features of our system is it's pretty. It's easy to look at. And for seniors, they need to see something online that makes you look professional, that makes you look legit, understand what's important in the Medicare process. They're getting barraged with Joe Namath TV ads and mailers and things like that. And so to say to somebody, all right, here's what's important, here's what I need from you, and at the end of this, I will reach back out to you with plan options. You've answered their qualm. They don't know what they want. It's your job as that source in their community to provide them with that guidance. And so we just try to make it as easy as possible. And I want to thank you, because this thing was born, and we've talked about this, but it was born by Medicare Bob. Not that I don't want to give you credit for it, but it was really Medicare Bob at Medicare Con got up and he said, the 48-hour scope rule is back. And I heard that for the first time, breaking news at the industry leading conference. And I was like, you know what, maybe we can do this thing. And so we've been working together on that. And then a year later, I come back to Medicare Con as a vendor. And by the way, very excited to share, I'll be back again next year in 2025. But it was sort of a coming out party for us. We got to meet so many different agents from across the country. And many of the folks who I'm sure are tuning into this are folks I got to meet in real life. And there's a lot of vendor conferences and things. But if you're looking for a conference for agents, by agents, that it's going to actually make your day-to-day life better when you go home, I mean, listen, I don't want to speak out of turn, but there were some agents who told me that when they heard about RetireFlow, that it made Medicare Con worth it for them. Now, I think there was, a keynote from Justin Brock. Yeah, listen, pretty good, but I want shout out Tony Merwin. He told me that, but
Dude, it's so true though, because we do vet our vendors to be people that are that we would endorse, that we would work with, that we would, we think they have a service that if we needed that service, that would be the one that we would buy.
Right.
The next year, and I haven't really said this anywhere, but next year there won't be any FMO sponsors.
Wow.
So we're just getting away from that. We're an FMO. We want the attendees to be FMO agnostic. So like, it's not that you have to be with us to come to Medicare Con. But we don't like the recruiting aspect of Medicare Con. We want it to be, FMO agnostic. And so we're not going to even allow them to sponsor anymore, other than maybe our own.
Sure, I hope
for
so.
Selfish reasons. But like, we want it to be carriers, obviously, because every 1099 we get is from a carrier. We need carriers, we need product, they need feedback. Those relationships are important. We want it to be technology platforms that serve our agents and brokers, like Sunfire, SendBroker last year, RetireFlow, the ones that are coming out right now. I'm sure there's probably ideas being born.
Sure.
Me and
from the last Medicare Con,
Yeah. InsureTrek's another one that came that has a licensing solution. That there's all these niche products that are relatively inexpensive that could save you from having manpower dedicated to a task. And the cool thing about software is it doesn't miss a beat, whereas manpower sometimes has that momentary lapse in thought. Once you tell a piece of technology to do something, it does that every time.
Thank goodness.
So.
But I had the privilege of coming down. You're talking about the FMO piece of this, and I had the privilege of working with FMOs across the country. But I went down to Tupelo, and you and I met, and I just, for the folks who are tuning into this BBI thing is the real deal. It's a high-functioning group of people who call you back, who are present, who answer your question, who provide progressive, thoughtful ideas on how to make your day-to-day life better as an agent. A special shout-out to my buddy, Drew Langford, okay?
Yeah.
Many of you have the privilege of working with Drew on the Go Guru stuff, but he kind of reflects the general nature of your organization, which is thoughtful people who are about growing and retaining your business. And I see posts in these Facebook groups all the time. I'm looking for an FMO. What's important? That's what you're looking for. Yeah. People that you can spend some time with. We're down here at your top producers conference, and these are people I enjoy being around, you know, people who are hungry, want to grow. And so I just, for those of you who have not had the chance to go to behind the agency, do those kind of things, it's a real deal.
Yeah.
It's
We
the real
got one
deal.
coming up in September.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. But behind the agency it has become, it's my favorite event now because you actually get like 2 full intimate days with a small group of people where you're sitting there and answering real-time questions. We have curriculum that is designed to spark engagement in the attendees so that we can answer their exact questions.
Right.
You know, Medicare Con is really a network and media or like networking and media event. It's big and it's fun, and we party and we build relationships and all that. But it can be difficult to get a lot of one-on-one time with, you know, me or every team member that we have there. Thankfully, there's so many people in attendance like yourself that the networking in and of itself is great. So when Tony, you know, says something like, RetireFlow makes it all worth it, it's the people that are there that you get to build the relationship with. Once you went into like the super intimate information, you do need some of that. You need to be able to ask questions. And why one-on-one coaching it is something people always want, and it doesn't always work out well, is because you don't really know what questions to ask those people. But in that small group setting, when you're teaching the curriculum, other people are asking questions, and then you're thinking of questions, and it's small enough where you don't feel stupid asking the question. It's just amazing, you know. And one of the things we have added to the curriculum is teaching on our utilization of RetireFlow.
And you know, to the task at hand, if you're an agent out there, we're taping this on August 3rd. I think today's August 3rd. Yeah. There's something coming. Okay. With changes coming from the Inflation Reduction Act, it poses the greatest potential problem for an agent or the greatest potential opportunity. I think it's the latter. And
so funny thing about the opportunity aspects, I put up a thing the other day and said that, you know, you got to be paying attention right now because there are some carriers that say they're not going to pay all commissions on Part D plans. And this guy who was a brand new agent said, this is terrible for brand new agents. And I said, actually, this is not terrible at all for brand new agents. It's 100% opportunity for brand new agents. Because when I first started, I'd write Obamacare with no commission just to build
get them in the door,
cross-sell, put them in the chute for Medicare, all that kind of stuff. When you're a brand new agent, it's all about having to talk to people. I would run Part D ads to get them in.
I heard about
this. Look for MA and Med Sup all day long. I would be running like, I mean, you know, one thing that we have that's a little different is now we have this huge block of Part D that we have to look at. How much effort do we spend converting that or salvaging it or servicing that versus going after new business with our element? That's actually probably more of the conundrum is the existing agent. The worst one is the guy who hasn't scaled fast enough. He's independent by himself or herself, and he's got 1,000 clients, and he has no team. And this year he has a bunch of Part D on the books, and he has to
I got a solution for him. It's RetireFlow. I mean, well, that's the thing. It's like, look, you get out ahead of this today. You sign up for RetireFlow. It takes 5 seconds. You turn on your survey at retireflow.com.
Sign up for RetireFlow, hire one LOA agent. And then have them deploy RetireFlow to all of those people, and they sit there and call them back as an order taker. I've ran your numbers from your RetireFlow survey. You know, we've already got the scope, everything, and they can sit there and service and just train them to identify the ones that need Medicare Advantage or Med Sup, and then send that back to the core agent. That way, you're not sitting there doing profitless drug plan reviews.
Listening to your clients try to spell levothyroxine over the phone. You know, that is when you're sitting there this AEP and it's October 18th and you didn't get ahead of it. You know, there's still a chance. It's August 3rd.
It's going to cost you a fortune.
Yes.
Because it's going to cost you a fortune and missed opportunity.
Agreed.
You know, because most people, I could tell you just abandon all of your Part D clients and go after new business. But when they start calling you, most people are good people and they're going to want to take time and help them. But now you're going to be taking 45 minutes, an hour, versus you could have had it in 5 or 10 minutes.
You simply send the link. I mean, text it, email it, post on it, whatever. And you can get out ahead of this thing and turn this AEP into an opportunity rather than, you know, Armageddon. But I do want to say, and listen, first of all, I'm very thankful for the opportunity to be with you and spend time with your team. But you guys are SEC people, you're Mississippi people. And I came down to Miami to be with you. And I just want to remind y'all, I brought something for you and Cedric, who's behind the camera here. I know that you're coming to Ohio in the next couple weeks here. But, if you're going to be there, you might as well be prepared. So I brought two different Ohio State T-shirts as an emissary from the great state of Ohio. If you've done a demo with me, you always hear me talk about Ohio State. Now, Cedric, I know you've been working out. I got a large, so I hope that works. All right. So you guys decide which one you want. But listen, if you're gonna be messing around in Ohio, don't come in wearing your SEC stuff. We don't want you. So I figured that. Listen, as a thank you.
Is that weed on the helmet?
It's not a weed. It's not weed on the helmet. It's not.
Buckeyes, come get high and watch football.
Listen,
Buckeyes.
I don't know what it is, but we got a winning record. Okay.
Yeah, well, y'all do that. Y'all do. I've heard outside of the SEC, the only good tailgating in college football is in Ohio State.
Columbus, Ohio. For those of you who are in Ohio, you've heard me talk about it, but I serve a lot of Michigan agents, so I always have the opportunity to rub it in their face.
Wolverines, man. I actually knew I was in the Marine Corps with a guy from Ohio who was, I guess, closer to Michigan, so he was a big Wolverines fan.
I hate that.
Weird.
I hate that. I mean, it's great he was a Marine, but listen, if you're going to defect on us, but yeah, I'm so excited to be here with you. Cedric, thanks for the chance. And for those folks who are tuning in at home, get your systems in order. RetireFlow is a great one. I'm biased, of course.
Yeah.
It's a great way to get prepared. But
there's literally no product currently that does what it does that is as clean or efficient or effective, and it's not even close right now. So I'm not biased, by nature. Dalton is not an aligned partner with us on the production side. We don't own part of RetireFlow. No. We have an affiliate deal. Like we have a discount that we pass on with Monsters 40.
Monsters 40, all caps.
Pretty much, but like technically I could go build a crappier version if I wanted to and put it through Go Guru, but it doesn't make any sense when yours does what it does. It's CMS approved. You're a valuable partner, and it's something that's so affordable and efficient that I can easily endorse it because I've looked at the options, which there are not many, and yours is, it's again like our conferences are for agents by agents.
Yeah,
this is a for agents by agents. To wrap it up in a nutshell, this was created for your agency.
Yep.
And then at Medicare Con, you saw the opportunity to deploy it for other people to use, and that is interesting in that you created the cusp of this for an efficiency for a problem that you guys saw.
Yeah.
And now other agencies are obviously have seen for years the same issues.
We've got 11 team members, 7 or 8 writing agents, depending on the year, but we serve 23,000 people.
Yeah.
I can't listen to 23,000 seniors or our entire team. They did it from sun up to sundown, try to spell their drugs over the phone or try to figure out where their doctor's office is and things like that. So it's a great way to get ahead of it. But at the same time, I think just focus on writing more business this fall. Yeah. Get out ahead of it. Use the systems that you have. But I think we've got the greatest opportunity in Medicare coming up. And I encourage all of you, continue to listen to the stuff that Justin's got coming. I know he's doing a training on Inflation Reduction Act stuff. But get prepared and then towel off on December 7th. Okay? Leave it on the field. If you do 10 meetings a day, you can have 540 meetings during AEP. That sounds like I get chest pains thinking about it, but run against the wall. And then at the end of the day, when it's the holidays, you'll be proud of the work that you put in.
And then you can take 2 weeks off if you want.
Yeah,
the Mediterranean.
I will be. Well, listen, you'll see Justin Brock at the Amalfi Coast.
If you can get your agents doing 540 appointments during AEP each year, and then you can start to replicate that with team members and high quality marketing and systems and processes, the sky's the limit.
All of a sudden you're at Trump Doral hanging out with Justin and
It
Seth.
seems like, I mean, now I was in Europe with Advisors Excel. We piggyback off of that for a 2-week trip. I come home for 2 days. I'm down here at the Trump Doral in Miami. You know, then I'm going to Canton, Ohio.
Oh, really?
To rep Buckeyes for a couple of days with Brandon Dawson and his event. It's like all the time now I'm on the move. But the cool thing is, you know, sometimes you want to be home. But the cool thing, it just keeps the energy going and the momentum. And we all know that we're going to have AEP coming up. And at that point, everybody's going to be busy. And that'll be the time where I honestly kind of relax in AEP because I've done all the work. Like
Yes.
my busy season, Justin's busy season at this point is the summer, the spring and the summer. You know, it's not really, once you enter the fall, I kind of slow down. I'm taking calls. I'm trying to help
Sure.
people and do what I can. But everybody's so busy that they're not, you know, worried about building anything. So right now you got August and September, and you don't want to be trying to start something in late September. So August is the month to get it. The high level app is coming out for RetireFlow.
Yeah.
By the end of August.
Yeah.
And that'll make Go Guru and some of the other high level platforms out there, like my buddy Eric Fierro's, some of those Agent CRM, those out there should give an integration to anybody using all those. Go Guru is the best, but those are all good systems too. So.
He said it, not me. But imagine having your Go Guru not only full of plan information, demographic information, but those drugs, doctors, hospitals, pharmacies, and have all that stuff automatically go in. All you got to do is send a link. That's it. That's it. So, you know, the thumbnail of this should be AEP's as easy as sending a link. You know, but I just
AEP. It's easy as ABC. With
wow.
RetireFlow.
With RetireFlow. There you go.
There you go. RetireFlow and Go Guru, and boom, you don't even have to work hard half the time now.
No.
So, or actually, I say like the way I would sell final expense, like we can get you more coverage for the same premium. So if you streamline your processes and you buy back time, you can use that to get more business.
Yes.
Don't use it to be lazier. You know, use it to compound. So, well, hey, Dalton, thank you for coming down to Miami, hanging out with us. We really appreciate you. And I will be wearing this shirt.
Yeah, go Bucks. You know,
Tell my kids that I don't support.
I got another one. This one might be big enough to fit Cedric's arms. I don't know. Yeah, that's a large. All right, all right.
That one's actually pretty sick.
Yeah, I figured you might like this one.
He's got I bet you're gonna see that in a gym video.
I hope so. I hope so. I hope so.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
That's great. Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man.